Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy. This is your weekly reading for what is going on in the weekly energy. So essentially this is an energy report. It's kind of like the energetic weather, what to expect out of the energy, the collective energy that is impacting each and every one of us, and how we can use that to make the most of it, and what we need to know so that we can best navigate the week. So this is a reading for everybody, but especially those of you who feel the energy, find yourself being really impacted by the energy, which is really most of you. We're going to dive in. So this is an interesting energy that we find ourselves in. Are you guys noticing already that this year looks really different than you expected it to? Already, right? We're not even that far into it. How many days are we? 9 days. I think it's the 9th today. We're 9 days into this year and already lots of shakeups, lots of changes, lots of shifts that have been surprising for me anyway. I'm curious if you guys are noticing these surprises, because if you're not, I definitely think that you're going to be noticing them this week. It does feel like a very surprising energy. It feels like a serendipitous energy, right? So these are like those happy surprises, or surprises that we on some level are recognizing are for the best, for our highest good, those kinds of things. But it also may be a little bit daunting. Like there's been a couple of times when I've just been like, oh, like almost needed to like move back with it because it just felt kind of surprising. Oh wow, what's happening? Sorry, the screen is doing different things. I have like bubbles popping up. Okay. I guess Facebook maybe changed things around a little bit. I do this, if you're watching this on my YouTube, I do this live on my Facebook first and I share it over on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe if you're watching this on my YouTube and hit that like button. And I put the link for the Facebook down below. But anyway, some surprises, right? Just kind of like that bubble that popped up on my screen. I don't know if you guys could see that, but that was a surprise. It's something different. It's very different from maybe what we expected or what we're used to. And the image that I got when I connected with this energy was, I mean, crystal clear. A deck being shuffled, right? Whereas like we think that something's heading in one direction and then the deck gets shuffled, and we might find that the outcome is very different from what we are anticipating. So I want you guys to trust it. I want you to trust that we're being led. That if the deck is being shuffled, or where the deck is being shuffled, it's shuffled for a reason. It's shuffled for our highest and best good. So if we think about that, if we think about like there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of moving parts happening, and a lot of shakeups happening here in this energy, we have to be willing to work with it, right? I want you to almost be strategic like you would be in a card game. You're going to want to do the best that you can with the cards that you're being dealt this week. So doing your best to flow with it. You know, as you know, with a card game, we can be strategic with that, and we can win even with a hand that we maybe don't feel like is the best possible hand. I think that's true anyway. I don't really know a lot about card games, but I'm one of those people that when you give me the rules to a card game, my brain turns to absolute mush. I could not care less about the rules of it, and like I don't know, my brain just doesn't absorb it. So anyway, you want to do the best with the cards that you are being dealt this week. Doing our best to kind of move with it, dance with it, let it be fun, let it be exciting, and notice the ways that things are being shaken up. Notice the ways that things are changing. And if we're fighting against it, if we're trying to hold on to a particular outcome that we're wanting too tightly, that can actually prevent this movement that's wanting to happen for us, that's wanting to happen in our lives, from actually happening. So we might find that instead we're shifting ourselves into a stagnant energy if we don't let ourselves go with this flow and work with whatever is showing up for us in our lives, trusting that we're going to play the absolute best game we can with the energy that is showing up. That really is the best thing that we can do here in this week. Now, we do have a new moon that's coming up on the 11th, and this energy feels incredibly powerful to me. I want you to think about, as much as we're like dancing and flowing with the energy and noticing what's showing up, I also want you to think about, especially around that new moon. So you could even start right now, and certainly up until, most of this week, I want us to be especially intentional with the things that we are putting out there. This is a really great time, especially here in Capricorn energy, to come back to our goals, to come back to what goals still align for me, where do I want to go. It's a great time to breathe fresh life into old goals, but it's also a great time to reassess and take a look at, okay, like, does that even still align for me? That goal that I thought that I have, does that even still fit? So we're doing this assessment with that, and it's a great time to come back to that and maybe even be intentional in writing those goals out or writing your intentions out. These are definitely things that I want to encourage you guys to do, especially around that new moon energy, because it feels really magical and it feels really beautiful. So we're going to want to make sure that we're using that energy so that we are taking advantage of our power as a co-creator here in this world. So we're not just a victim to the energy that's happening. We're instead using that energy and being intentional with it so that we can start to call in some of the things that we want, but then also being flexible, being flowy with the things that are showing up, because again, lots of surprises I think coming up in the energy, but they feel like happy surprises overall. It might not feel that way immediately, but trusting in the process of all of it. With this energy, I feel like there's a focus too on our home or our physical body, so notice where you're wanting to make some adjustments there with that, where you're wanting to move some things around or clear out some clutter, that kind of stuff. I think that that's a really good time for us to do that. It's always a good time to do that, but this is an especially good time for us to do that. I'm feeling the communication vibes this week too. So you might find here in this week that there's something that you need to communicate about. There's something that you need to say. There's something that you need to put out there. And some of it feels like stuff that we intuitively feel, but we haven't said it yet. Maybe we need to ask somebody about something, or we need to say something or check in with somebody about something. So I definitely feel like this is a great time to communicate about something, to speak your truth, to ask questions, to speak from a place of honesty, to speak from a place of what's on your heart, what's on your soul, to ask the questions that we need to ask. I'm feeling that vibe this week. I think that it can lead to deeper connections with people. It can also lead, with all the surprises in this energy, you might find that it's also leading to some surprise changes with things, right? Maybe you communicate with somebody about something and they don't respond the way that you expect them to. I think that the communication that we want to be putting out there is communication for the sake of saying it without an expectation of how we need other people to respond to that. And I know that that's hard because of course we have a specific way that we want somebody to respond to it, but this is more about no, this is something that I need to say, or this is something that I need to ask, and then trusting our intuition to lead that communication, or trusting our intuition to even lead or support us in how we feel. Because I feel like in some ways maybe there may be some communication that we put out there that we intuitively, maybe we're intuitively feeling something and we're challenging someone about something. Hopefully this makes sense. And then they deny it in some way. I think that it's going to be really important to continue to honor what we intuitively feel and what we intuitively know. And that doesn't mean that we have to get into some kind of an argument with this person or something like that. But definitely sticking to what we intuitively know to be true, or sticking to our guns in terms of, this is something that's important for me, and this is something that I need to say. And so I really just need for you to listen, or I really just need to be able to communicate that. So I hope that that makes sense. So it's about truth. It's about the act of communication. It's about honoring what we intuitively know to be true and making sure that we're saying what we feel like we need to say, and that we're listening, right? Because the other part of communication is listening. So it isn't just, let me just say what I need to say and that's it. It's also about taking that time to actively listen, to actively hear what other people are saying, or noticing the types of communication that are coming into our experience, using our intuition to filter that out, to help us to understand things, to help us to know things. Oh, somebody sent me stars. Thank you. Very nice. I don't know. It's not showing me who, so I can't say thank you, but I'm saying thank you to whoever sent me stars. So communication, I also feel like the other words that I got when I was connecting with this is that there are reality checks that are coming up for us. So we might find that there are some reality checks, some things that are kind of bringing us back down to earth. I think that Capricorn energy has a really beautiful way of doing that anyway. So we might find there's some things that are bringing us back down to earth. So I want you to notice that and make adjustments as you need to, right? Maybe you get some kind of a reality check and it shows you, oh, I need to make some changes to the plan that I have, to this thing that I'm working on, to this thing that I feel like I need to say even, just coming back down to earth and making sure that we're doing that in the best way possible for everyone's highest and best good. Or maybe these reality checks are just helping us to see an easier way, a better way to do something like that. But the other part of this reality check that I got is that I actually think that we're going to be finding that there is some evidence coming in. We've been seeing some things manifesting, right? Where we might find that we're recognizing where our dreams are beginning to become a reality. I was talking last week about how our dreams are beginning to take root and things are starting to grow, things are starting to develop. And I think that this energy is moving pretty quickly in unexpected ways, but it's moving pretty quickly. And so we might be realizing or recognizing some of the ways that our dreams are now starting to become a reality, or some of the steps that we need to be taking in order to make that a reality. So definitely paying attention to where you're feeling inspired to take action this week. I think that that's going to be really important. When I was connected with this energy, I also felt Archangel Raphael come in, and that is my angel of healing, of support, of healing on all levels, right? So physical healing, emotional healing, psychological healing, spiritual healing. And so I would definitely call on Archangel Raphael for whatever type of healing that you're needing. But to me, this was also that indication that Raphael has been supporting our healing journey. And we might find this week that there are some indications of how we have been healed, or how something just doesn't impact us in the same way, or some good news about our health or our well-being, or something of that nature. I'm definitely feeling like good vibes around health and healing. And so even if something feels off or feels like, oh, that was a surprise, I didn't expect that to go that way, it might be something in alignment with supporting our health and our well-being and helping that to move forward in some way, in a positive way, right? In an unexpected way, but in a positive way, in a way that just helps to support our health, our well-being, our emotional healing, wherever it is that we're needing healing. So how are you guys doing in this energy? I would love to hear from you. Would love to hear your comments. Let me know how you're feeling while I shuffle the cards. See, it's funny, like these cards are going all over the place. I can't even keep them organized, right? It's a little bit this vibe, like the universe is gonna shuffle the deck and maybe keep shuffling the deck. So you think it's going one direction and then it changes. Like all of these shakeups and surprises, different types of things happening. Are you guys noticing that happening already? I also want to point out, speaking of tarot, while I'm shuffling the cards, my tarot class, my Learn to Read Tarot class starts tomorrow. You can join, of course, anytime, but we're doing the first live class tomorrow with the replays always available to learn at your own pace after the fact. But that's going to be tomorrow. I will put that link below. I'm really excited to dive into that. We're going to be learning how to read intuitively. We're going to be learning how to read from the traditional meanings. It's going to be, do you see how I'm having trouble speaking today? So definitely some communication stuff this week, and it might be something that's hard for you to say. So we're going to be learning how to read from the traditional meanings as well. So it's going to be a deep dive into the tarot. We're even going to learn a little bit about the Lenormand. Do you guys know about the Lenormand decks? We're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to touch on oracle cards, tarot spreads, all the things, all the tools to help you to begin to build a tarot practice. And oh my God, this energy is incredible this week. I love this. It felt good, but it also feels a little like surprising, and I don't always love that. I don't know, but I've kind of approached this year like let me just put my intentions out there and see where this is taking me. And I think for the year, that's really going to be a great place to start. I think lots coming in for us this year. Charlie says the cards always go all over the place for me. Yep. I'm a little fumbly too, but this is like next level fumbly. It might be a little, with all the shifting, it might be a little tough to focus too. I felt like yesterday, today, like has been weird for my focus. Oh, wow. This is like wild, this energy. Okay, so I pulled the tarot. I'm going to pull from my Tree of Life deck too, just because I got that prompt to pull from that. So let's take a look at that. From the Tree of Life. And I don't know this deck very well, so I might have to look in the book. Some of these concepts are pretty new to me. And then some of them are not, because they're very connected to the tarot. Okay, this makes sense. Okay. All right, so the first card is the number 2 card. It is the Shokma Wisdom card, and it says, inspiration, spark, the divine masculine. So the divine masculine, we're thinking about action, that inspiration, that spark of like actions that we need to take. Remember, I was saying, pay attention to where you're feeling sparked. Pay attention to where that inspiration is coming in and take action on that. So this is definitely a hell yes in terms of action, but this is being led through our wisdom. So know that whatever you're feeling prompted to do, that feels good, that feels like really grounded in your wisdom, is definitely some steps that we need to take. There's this energy here of, and this is always true with intuition, but especially this week, of like just take the next step, right? You might not know what lies at the other side, as you go further along the path, but just take the next step. Even if you're like, I don't know why I'm taking this step, I just feel intuitively prompted to do that. I think that that's going to be really important. And I think that as we lean into that, that's actually us leaning into our divine wisdom and letting that be led. So let me show you guys this, because wow, these cards are incredible. First card out, the Queen of Pentacles, right? So coming home to ourselves is the sense that I get with this. In spite of things moving a lot this week, I think that it's going to be really important for us to keep coming back home to ourselves, right? Coming back home to our home, coming to the places that bring us safety and security and support as this energy is swirling around and creating all kinds of movement and shakeups and surprises. So continuing to come back to that centering, but this is also us taking a look at our homes and saying, what needs to be different? What do I want to move around? What do I need to change? What do I need to release? What do I need to get rid of? The Queen of Pentacles is so nurturing and very aware of how she invests her resources, whether that's her time, her money, and she invests her resources in the things that matter the most to her, right? So this is good for us to make sure that we're doing that. I also feel like, money looks good. We've got the King of Pentacles too, right? So we may find that there are just blessings coming in. There's a little bit of a vibe of some things that we've been working on that didn't really, we didn't see how they've paid off. And here in this week, we might see the beginning of how they're paying off, or we might actually have them pay off, right? This can even be like you lent money to somebody and all of a sudden it's coming back around, right? But I just feel like we're a magnet for resources, opportunities, but also just this reminder to keep coming home to ourselves and find that centering, focusing on home and where there need to be changes. We also have the Sun card, right? Happiness, joy, being on the right path. And I think that there is a lightness to this energy the further we move away from Mercury retrograde, where it is like, okay, I'm doing okay. Now, it can feel a little chaotic in this energy because there's so many things moving around right now, so many shakeups, so many different things happening. But I think if you really tune into it at the root of that, that feels really good. That feels really light. And I also feel like it's like the sun is coming out. We might see where something that didn't make sense to us with that moon energy now all of a sudden makes sense. Now it's like, oh, I get it. Now I have clarity, right? We have that wisdom card. Now I have clarity. Now I see it clearly. Or something that we've been waiting on coming to the surface, coming to light. And I don't know, it just feels really joyful and happy, but also fulfilling is the word that I want to use. And speaking of fulfillment, we have Ace of Wands, and this is all about inspiration, fulfillment. This is my go for it energy, right? So you might find that there are opportunities that are presented to you, because right next to that we have the Eight of Wands. You might find that there's a lot coming your way. Which wand or wands are you going to grab? You know, we can't take them all. We do have to make some choices, right? And not making a choice is also a choice. So what are you most excited about? What opportunities are you most excited about? What feels good? I made the decision last year, and I'm really reinforcing it so much more this year, that I'm not accepting opportunities that feel like meh to me, that don't, I want to do things and spend my time and my energy surrounding myself with people, places, and things that feel light, that feel fun to me, that feel exciting to me, that light me up, because I know that when we follow the path of our excitement, it's always going to lead us on our best life path. So there's some kind of a going for it. There's some kind of like, my soul knows this to the depths of me, that this is right, this is the path, this is the direction. That's going to help you to make sense of all of this that's coming your way, because this is like a lot coming our way at once. It's positive things, but it's a lot coming our way at once. And you know, just when you start to like settle into what's coming into your experience, then we might find there's some shakeups and it looks different. And so this is also if something like speaks to you, it connects to you, or you feel like you need to say something, I think that this week energy this week is like, do it right then. Send the text, say the thing in the moment, when you have the moment. Make the choice, make the change, do the thing, whatever that is. It's definitely a go for it energy, and it's not wait 2 weeks to go for it. It's like, go for it now, here in this moment. When you feel the prompt, when you feel the inspiration, or when you feel like you want to respond, you might actually respond to something and be like, holy shit, did I do that? Right? But if like that came from your soul, it was the right thing, right? And some of us are overthinkers, and we overthink too much. And this is very much about like going with the flow and responding right then and there in the moment to what lights you up, what feels good to your soul. I think that you'll know. I think that if you're really tuning in, you'll know. And the next card that we have here is the King of Pentacles. So we do have divine counterparts. We might find that connections are coming together. I love the King and Queen of Pentacles together because this is solid. This is stable, right? It's okay to ask for consistency, stability. And I think that if, as the Queen of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles, you have been putting that out there, that is something that has the potential to come around here this week. I also feel like, I mean, this is such a power couple, that kind of energy, but to move away from relationship stuff or love related stuff, it also is like maybe somebody coming in that has ideas for you that help to support what you're trying to create, or somebody coming in with the financing to support something that you're wanting to do. It's a very collaborative energy to me. This is also about like what you're investing your time, your effort, your energy into is going to have the Midas touch. It's going to pay off. So the actions that we're taking now are going to pay off. So again, definitely don't wait too long to jump on some things that are coming up, because it feels like a window. Again, if we think about that deck keeps shuffling, right? You got to take the card when it comes out. You got to take the opportunity when it's presented in front of you, because you'll probably get the window again, but it might take some time for that window to come back up. The last card that we have is the Hierophant, right? Listening to our higher power, our higher self, letting ourselves be led, letting ourselves be guided. This is a very spiritual energy. It's also like a very traditional energy in some ways. So you might find yourself wanting to like come back to some kind of tradition, or here in this Capricorn energy, some kind of spiritual practice that you used to really love, that you've moved away from, that you've forgotten about. I'm feeling that vibe here with this. Or, spiritual connections, friendships that you have that really, really, influence that. And Stephanie is saying it's a Taurus card. Yes, it's a Taurus card. I'm a Taurus, so I love that as well. We've got a lot of earth energy. We've got a lot of fire energy here in this spread too. So definitely, great energy here for that, for like that practical, that earth energy. Oh, Stephanie's a Taurus too. Yeah. And in this Capricorn energy, us Taurus, we thrive in that, right? So there's a practical energy here in the mix of all of this, but we also have like a little bit of this adventurous energy with these wands, and even with this Sun card, right? It's like letting things light our fire, but then also coming back to earth, and then getting excited and taking action, but then coming back to earth, or coming home to ourselves, coming home to the practical things that we need to be doing. So lots going on, lots of things happening. I would love to hear what's happening for you guys, how these messages resonate for you, what's showing up for you, whether that's now, whether that's a little bit later in the week you come back and you kind of update me on things. Are you noticing the deck getting shuffled already? Are there surprises happening for you, shakeups, movement? Another reminder that I start my tarot class tomorrow, so if you'd like to sign up, I will put the link down below. I would love to have you. If you are a member of my Clarity by Christy membership, which is only $9.99 a month, you get $111 off of that. There's a promo code right up in the membership for you. So I've been saying join to get the discount, but stay because you're going to love all of the spiritual content that I have up in there. It's all about spiritual, metaphysical, and personal development journey. So I designed it to help support people as they're going along their journey. Not everybody is able to get into my schedule, or it doesn't work with their schedule, or not everybody is able to afford a session with me, but the membership is another way, another approach to be able to do that. So I love the membership. I'm excited to dive into the Learn to Read Tarot class. I always love to teach tarot. It's so much fun. And we're going to be taking a deep dive into learning how to read intuitively and traditionally. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can join that anytime, even if you're watching this later. And I will see you soon with another video. Take care.